Hello and welcome to the finale of 1984 Power of Three. I am here with the three finalists. We have Cindy, Rizzo, and Xander. So tonight, the jurors will be deciding who the winner of the season is going to be. So first up, we are going to be doing our opening statements. Rizzo, as the final head of household, got to choose the order. He chose for the order to go Cindy, Xander, and then Rizzo. That order will be flip-flopped for the closing statements. Each juror will have 7 minutes for their opening statement. Cindy, your time starts now.
Hello, jurors. I hope you're all watching live. I'd like to invite you all to take a shot with me. I'm sure I'm not the only one nervous. And as is tradition when I'm nervous, I invite everyone to take a shot. So please join in. Okay. Gross. So my game was largely about I guess I'll start with how my game started, which was obviously on the block. Week 1 as an alleged pawn, and I managed to take myself off using veto. But from then on, I was largely viewed as a pawn. I didn't have very many close relationships. Bryce was obviously my closest from day one. Beyond that, I was close with Sam T and Hunter. They're both gone now. And I was put up next to Hunter, who was one of my closest allies. I did not have any alliances in the beginning, which made it very clear to me going forward that I either had to take the side of the house that was not the power of 5 and run with them, or I had to find a way to gain the trust of the power of 5 and keep their targets set on each other rather than me. Due to the other side of the house largely not being people who wanted to work with me, it had people like Caitlin, Nick, I love you. I can't tell if you wanted to work with me or not. I know that we said we would work together. I didn't know if I trusted that or not. So I didn't feel comfortable working with that other side. So instead, what I did was I took the Kevin helped to save me when it was me against Hunter, and I used that to sort of feign loyalty to Kevin, sort of pledge this final 2, Kepik and Johnson, with him. And from there, I tried to make sure that whoever was targeting whoever, I wasn't on that list from jury on. No one was targeting me. I had sort of infiltrated this power of 5, allowed people to target at each other. Additionally, when Xander and I put ourselves on the block to get rid of Tawny, that was another member of the Power of 5 who then became very close with me. And I would say closer with me than with other members of that alliance. So my game was largely about picking individuals who I believed I could help to keep these sort of power players attacking each other. My biggest move in this game, I believe, is still keeping Kevin over Gianna, because that kept someone in who I knew wanted me to go far and who I now knew was going after Xander. And while I was close with Xander and didn't necessarily want Xander to go, I knew that his top targets were not me. It was Xander and Bryce. And while I was aligned with both of them, if it got me further for them to leave, that was something that I was okay with. And truthfully, that's the way it was with a lot of the jury. Is I made good connections with you guys, but then I ultimately did sacrifice you guys for my own game. And it was very intentional. I know it's not anyone's favorite gameplay to watch. I'm not the most exciting finalist. I won't be the most exciting winner. I don't know that anyone here played the game that, like, Nick, you in particular, I know are looking for. I know you wanted to see a Kevin win, someone bombastic, someone going at it. And I'm sorry that that was not me, but I knew based off of the pre-jury, had I been that bombastic character that I would have loved to be, I would have been a target, because I didn't have enough strong alliances to shield me. I didn't have an early game alliance. I didn't have a majority alliance at any point. All I had was one-on-one connections. And if I was choosing to take down those one-on-one connections, there needed to be a reason for it, and it needed to further my game. And yelling at people for fucking me over or fucking a friend over, like that was never going to work because I didn't have that big alliance backing me. The closest thing I had was the one that Gianna, you made, with the 5 people in it. And Jason quickly showed me that that was not an alliance that was going to last, because had it been going to last, he would have used the veto on you rather than Rizzo. And instead, he took his one-on-one connection with Rizzo. He showed that that was more important than the alliance. And with that, I knew, just like I'm sure you did, that that alliance was essentially meaningless. So that was the only majority alliance I was ever a part of, if you will. And it got decimated the week that it was created. So my game was entirely about these one-on-one alliances, which is what led me to, at the final 5, I was in a final 2 with Kevin. I was in a final 2 with Bryce. I was in a final 2 with Xander, and I was in 2 final 3s with Rizzo. And then there was myself. So from final 5 on, I was pretty sure the only person who would take me out, given the chance, was Kevin at final 4. So I think that those one-on-one connections really helped me. And I think I did a great job of getting out the people who didn't want me in the end before they had a chance to get me out. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Next up, we have Xander. Xander, your time starts now.
All right. So my game was, I would say, not my best, but, you know, I played my cards correctly how I wanted to play them. I made a lot of connections. I made a lot of one-on-one bonds. Starting out in this game, I tried to talk to as many people as possible. And this Alliance of the Power of 5 was just kind of handed to me, I feel like. And while I was supportive with it, and, you know, I had close bonds with half the people in there, you know, I thought, yes, this will take me far. And it turns out we did. Like, the Power of 5, if you look on it on paper, we controlled every week at Free Jury. We had someone in power every time protecting us as much as possible. So using that core group, I used that to help me get to the jury phase at possible. So going from there, starting jury, that's when I'm like, I like this Power of 5 group, but I don't trust half the people there. So I wanted to win power to take out those people. Those people were Kevin and Billy. I thought to myself, those people have their jury management, albeit kind of lackluster. They still had a way of maintaining votes because they had power. So those were my 2 targets going into this. When I won HOH, I wanted my first target to be Kevin. So when I won, I nominated who I nominated with a plan of backdooring Kevin always. And I told Cindy and Bryce this, I wanted to backdoor Kevin. Veto happens and I backdoor, and it doesn't work out. So from there on, I went and flipped my game plan, trying to connect with each one particularly. I tried to talk to Rizzo because I nominated him and said, hey, no rough feelings. I got with Jason, said, hey, I want to go to the end with you. And I tried to communicate with each person specifically to get myself further in this game. And it worked. I got further. I made final 2 with Cindy. I made a final 2 with Cindy. I basically made a final 2 with Rizzo. It was basically, our idea was, hey, it's duos. Let's just kind of form together to get out the other 2 duos. And each of these deals that I have made got me one step further into the game. I will say a lot of that in-game, though, I wasn't winning competitions, but I was still saying in all chat, I was just saying in general, I was just saying, hey, let's just get it done and over with. It doesn't make people plan. Like, for instance, the one vote where Cindy had a vote between me and Bryce. That was a rough vote. You could tell by her crying, but I made sure, I was like, hey, let's do this right now so I don't have to do it. I don't want anyone talking. I just want this vote done now. It made Rizzo make the move he made without talking to anybody. It made Cindy vote immediately to show where her cards were at. And I feel like, to me, that was one of my major moves, was just trying to keep the game going fast to make people not think about how to move forward. I did this two or three times. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I just kept trying to advance the game forward. I would say my biggest play, though, would be the week I was in Power of Three with Cindy and Tawny. Originally, I did not want to nominate us three, but I'm hearing from my Power of Five alliance that Tawny was trying to say that me and Cindy were controlling the game, strong arming everyone. And so to me, I was like, that doesn't make sense. That does not fit my narrative. So I was like, hey, Cindy, let's just nominate us. Cindy did not want to, but I'm like, it's our best move. We have the votes. So I made sure I got the votes to get Tawny out, and then got all the votes on there, and I nominated us, got Tawny out. I will say, following that, I had Nick say he wanted to place the vote wherever I wanted him to, but I also had other people telling me that Nick was campaigning to get me out the following week. So that was a struggle there. So I kept trying to talk to Nick to at least say, hey, man, no rough feelings, but let's still work together. But I mean, that didn't get me anywhere because he was out following that. Every bond I have made with each and every one of you was genuine. Every conversation I have had, everything I have said, I've not said a lie this whole game. I may have not told you the full truth. I may have kept things out, but I have not told anyone a lie here. I have made bonds with each and every one of you, and I feel like that's what got me here to the finale. So that's my game. You may ask me any questions you would like, but that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Xander. Rizzo, your time starts now.
I just want to say congratulations to the Power of the final three, along with me and Cindy and Xander. I'm just so happy we ended up being how we are to this day. I want to preface this, that coming into this game, in my past Ori experience, I've never made it deep into a game, given for the fact that I was always loyal and I always relied on competitions. Coming into this game, I knew that I had to change that style up because that's not a winning game. I will own up and I will admit I did not play an honest game. However, I was loyal to the people I was loyal to. Jason, 5 minutes into this game, called me and wanted a secret final two with me. And from that moment, I stuck with him. Nobody knew that we were a duo in this game until Jason used the veto on me at final 8. I also want to preface that my game in the beginning was very passive, but that is where I wanted to build my social capital. I had alliances with multiple people, such as the Power of Five, which was Kevin, Xander, me, Sam T, and Billy. I had a 4-person alliance with me, Sam T, Jason, and Sam U. I was very good one-on-one with Nick. I was very good with Hunter. I was very good with Sean, and I was very good with Gianna. So I knew playing in the beginning of the game, I needed to find a way to balance all of these relationships with everyone and make sure my name in the beginning of the game will never come up. The game I decided to play was very in the middle. I will admit it. The game I played is very hard to execute. I was able to make sure that everybody in this game felt good with me and I never needed to cross my word. I intentionally threw multiple competitions until I needed to win. The only comps that I tried was the week 2 PO3 where me, Hunter, and Sam T won. This is because when you have power, historically, people come to you and this is where you build better bonds. I won this comp knowing that if I won, I can build better relationships. And this is where I built good relationships with Nick and others. And I think I was very in a good spot that I didn't even need to win. I never won another HOH/PO3/veto until final 6 when I decided that I needed to win out to show that I had the physical capabilities. I want to say each and every round, I played it in a way where I can strategically position myself to never be the target. The Hunter round, when it was between Hunter and Cindy, I was right dab in the middle. I had the PO5 and Jason on one side, and I had Nick, Caitlin, Sam, you, and others on the other side. And they came to me wanting to vote Hunter to stay and Cindy to go. And I will admit, I did give people my word and lied saying I would keep Hunter when realistically I knew that if I crossed the PO5 Jason Bryce and others, it would put me in a shitty position because I wasn't as close as that side that I was to the PO5. So I made the big move to tell Tawny and Nolan at the end of the round, 5 minutes before eviction happened, that I am keeping Cindy to have them flip for Hunter. So Hunter, who is one of the biggest personalities in this game, left because I told Tawny and Nolan that I'm keeping Cindy. From that point on, I knew that me playing in the middle could potentially be caught up, because that night, the day after, Nick called me and told me, Rizzo, how could you do this to me? How could you lie? I wish you told me the truth. And I had to do damage control. I had to make Nick feel like what I did was wrong and I will owe up to him, which is when, in the instant eviction, when it was between Gianna and Caitlin, I go up to Nick and I tell Nick, listen, who are we voting for? Whatever you do, I'm doing it with you. Nick told me to vote Gianna. So unfortunately, I voted Gianna to go that round to build trust with Nick. However, Nick, from that point on, I do remember you calling out my game. You called me a people pleaser. You called me someone that's playing the middle. From that point on, I knew strategically that you had to go soon, because you are probably the most honest person in this game and you are one to call bullshit. So I knew that I needed to set up a way to cause your eviction because you would call me out. And that's what ended up happening. I was able to get Jason and the PO5 to all agree that Nick was a threat. And it also worked out to my benefit that you were beefing with Kevin and Billy. I was able to cause beefs with people to never me be the main target. I think throughout this game, I was able to strategically position to myself where nobody wanted me to go up. I did not go up until the triple eviction of this game, where I was almost saved unanimously. The only person that didn't vote to save me was Xander, because he wanted to save Samu because he couldn't do it to evict him. From that point on, I was only put up on the block one more time, in which my number one ally, Jason, had the veto and saved me. So from this entire game, I was only eligible to go home in one round. From final 6 on, or once Jason left, I will preface this. When Bryce won and wanted to target Jason, it hurt me. I wanted to win veto and I wanted Jason to be safe. However, that didn't end up happening because I wasn't picked by the wheel. When Jason ended up leaving, I knew that I had to try to campaign for him to stay. When I found out that the votes weren't there, I needed to adapt and readjust, which is where I made a final 3 with Bryce and Cindy. I tried to tell Xander, listen, with Jason going, you need to vote for him to stay, and we need to work together. Kevin and Billy thought I was good with them still, because I never won a competition to show my cards. So when me and Xander decided to save Jason so Jason can have this moment, me and Xander were good with Jason. Going into that round, final 6, I knew that no one thought I was a comparable comp threat because I never won. I knew that out of everybody in this game, I was one of the biggest comp threats. I just didn't need to show it. I was set up in a socially great position that I never needed to win a comp till final 6, where I, slide a cookie from my forehead to my face and I beat everybody. Then I was secured for final 5. Final 6, I didn't want to target Bryce and Cindy because that is a duo. So Bryce and Cindy, we had a final 3, wanted Kevin to go. I was down to do Kevin. I made my big move. I broke my word with Kevin and I put him up. Obviously, he won veto. And then he was trying to push me to put Bryce up on the block. However, Billy, I'm sorry, but you were collateral damage. I knew you were close with Kevin and you would take him to the end if need be. So I had to get rid of you to be good with Bryce and Cindy. Final 5, we wanted Kevin to go. Kevin won HOH. So that means Bryce and Cindy went up on the block. I wanted to go to the end with Bryce and Cindy at final 4 with Xander and ultimately cut Bryce, but Kevin winning folded my plans, and it ended up me having to win veto. I won veto at final 5 to secure my spot at final 4. I ended up making the big move to save Cindy and blindside her by evicting Bryce. I didn't tell nobody my plan besides Kevin and Xander right before eviction, and I got rid of Bryce because he was a big jury threat. That was my move because I won veto and I controlled my destiny. Going into final 4, it was me basically versus Kevin. Kevin was an endurance comp, talking about how great he is in endurance, and I never fully got to compete in endurance. I beat Kevin in endurance, and I just wanted to say that throughout this entire game, when Cindy and Xander's game slowed down, I sped my game up, and I guaranteed my spot here at final 3.
Okay, Rizzo, I got to cut you off.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, it is now time for the jurors to have their time. So I'm going to go get the first juror. They should be hopping on shortly. Each juror will get 7 minutes to ask whatever they like. I do ask that you all remain muted unless they do ask you to, or ask you a question. So once our first juror pops on, we will get started. Might be a second. I know that he was watching the stream, so Nick Benner, get yourself on here. Shout out to us not being able to hear my fan tonight. You're welcome.
The most shocking blindside of the season. Us not being able to hear Michael's fan.
There we go. Hello, Nick. Your 7 minutes starts now.
What up, bitches? Just kidding. Congratulations, everyone. I don't have any animosity. I mean, my name was in every single one of your mouths, so like my head just got really big. But Cindy, I am not taking a shot for you. I'm taking a shot for everyone that you helped get out of this game. All right. First off, Cindy, one thing I want to call out here for you, I don't think I really have a question for you. It's complete bullshit. You saying that like, oh, I didn't know if you wanted to work with me. I was talking to you. I was there with you. Like, we all know that's bullshit. You didn't want to work with me, and that was what the issue was. I lost a little bit of respect for you when you said that, and like that is what that is. No, I don't want to hear from you. Thank you though. Xander, I love you, boo. I don't have a question for you either. Just my only advice is just really make sure to explain your game to us, because I think a lot of people right now are counting you out. Rizzo, from the jump, the one thing I asked you to do was to be honest with me. It's all I needed. All I needed was that honesty. I had your back. You knew I had your back. I let you know multiple times that I had your back. My question for you is, why are you so full of shit? Like, I didn't need you to vote Hunter. I understand that, you know, you had to do what was best for your game. Why lie to me in particular? And I know you've lied to a lot of other people. Why lie when you didn't have to? That's my question for you, is why did you lie to me when I told you you didn't have to do that?
So, like I said early on in the game, I knew to you, and I still didn't touch the subject, that you were the most honest person in this game, and I respected that. However, I was afraid, given about how you weren't afraid to call people out, that for some reason that would be used against me. I tried to honestly make sure I was good with everybody. I'm going to be honest, the game that I played is very hard to control, because with one mistake can cost me the game. So me not telling you that was just me trying to cover my bases with everybody else, because I was afraid if I was honest with you in that situation, that it could end up hurting me in the long run. I want to preface this that I was so genuine with you when we talked the entire time. I think you are a great person. However, my true allies and loyalties were started in the beginning of the game. So for me to turn on them for you was just something I couldn't put myself to do. And like I said, that call that we had that one time, and you called me a people pleaser and somebody that was playing in the middle, I knew that coming jury, you would try to target me eventually. So whenever the shot and the opportunity was there to take it, I put it in my best interest to take you out, because I knew you would call me out and put me in danger.
Okay, that's fair. My second question, you are now one of 3 people that I have heard try and take claim for painting the target on my back and saying Nick has got to go. Why? Elaborate more on how you painted the target on my back, how you convinced everyone else, because I've heard it from multiple people that they're like, oh, I knew you had to go. I let other people know. You're now one of 3 people that are trying to take credit for the move of getting me out.
So I will say this, like I said to you previously, and I made in my opening statements, a lot of my game is talking to a lot of people and promising a lot of people a lot of things. So my final two, Jason, shout out to New York's finest, and Sam T and everybody, I try to point this picture that Nick is very honest and is not afraid to call somebody out, given the time that you called out Kevin and Billy because of their bullshit. So I knew that it would be hard for me to go one-on-one with you because you'll call me out and I can't deny what I'm doing because I'm ultimately playing in the middle. So I just try to put these seeds in people's head that, listen, Nick is a threat. He will call out bullshit. He is not afraid to get, confrontational. And that's something that I don't strive in. I strive in staying in the shadows and making sure that people know that they're good with me and that you are willing to do whatever you need to do to call out the truth. And like I said, I can claim I was not always telling the truth. And if you stayed, I had to make sure that I was good with you because, like I said multiple times, I try to tell everybody that Nick is a threat because he will call you out on your bullshit. So that me going with everybody like the Power Five, Jason, Sam T, whoever I was close with, I was telling them, guys, we got to make sure Nick doesn't call us out. And that's what I did to paint a target on your back.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Thank everyone. I know I only had questions for Rizzo. Best of luck to all three of you. My best advice moving forward is you all played kind of that similar behind the scenes under the radar game. So just make sure when you're answering the rest of these jury questions, really focus on how you differ from the other two, because that's going to dictate my vote. My vote is by no way locked. Best of luck. I adore you all, and I'm out of here. I don't need 7 minutes.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, I'm going to let our next juror in. Might take just a second. Has anybody tried the chicken? It was lovely.
I heard it was lovely.
Shout out to the egg comp that we were gonna do, but we wanted to be nice to Cindy. Okay, so the next juror was in the waiting room and now they're not. Okay. Here we go.
I'm
Okay,
sideways. Hold on, sorry.
you're fine. Okay, Sam, your 7 minutes starts now.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Okay, actually, that was a rhetorical question because you're muted. But I just wanted to say congratulations on you three for making it to the end. Obviously, this game was a lot, and I know you all needed to do, what you needed to do to get here. You beat out a lot of us who wanted to be at the end, so kudos on that. I'll start off with Cindy. Cindy, here's what I really, really appreciated about you. You were always honest with me. I know we kind of connected a little bit later in this game to the point where it was kind of a little bit too late. But I really appreciated you still being honest in all of our conversations. Even the night that I was being evicted, I was messaging you desperately, like, what can I do? And you were like, I'm going to be honest, like, I need to save Rizzo. And I was like, you know what? Obviously, in the moment, I was upset that I was evicted, but I really appreciated that honesty from you. And that is something that I really admire. Xander, you were someone that I also kind of talked a little bit more in one-on-one, and we also hung around a lot on the calls at the very end. So we would always have like these weird, awkward conversations. But I also appreciated that. I do have a question for you though. I not gonna lie, I was really surprised that you saved me during my eviction. I want to know, was that like what your reason behind it was? Was it you're trying to gain like jury favor, or was it like, what was your reasoning?
So that in general was not jury at all. I want to preface this because I did message you about it as well. I said, me personally, I felt like we had a bond going on these calls. We were always like the last four. We had like so many final fours with everyone else on call. Like our bond was so genuine to me that when everyone was just like, hey, yeah, like we're just saving Rizzo. And I'm just like, I really cannot do that. So I voted to save you. Now, this did result in the Power of Five having a side call saying, oh, yeah, it was all Bryce. And I did lie to them saying, yeah, sure, I didn't vote. But I never said I never voted. I just stayed silent. Like, I didn't admit that it was me. But, I mean, for me personally, voting to save you was not jury-wise. It was just me on a personal level. I could not bring myself to do it.
I appreciate the honesty. All right, Rizzo. I go back and forth with you. I in your speech, I don't know how much I believe it. Part of it was you kind of talked about in the beginning, you said you set yourself up with all these social relationships, making you feel, comfortable that no one would come after you. I don't necessarily feel like we had that. So yes, we were in a 4-person alliance with Sam T and Jason, which was not really active. So I didn't think it was like also happening. Also, I want to preface, I kind of like was talking to Sam T and Jason before that. And then I got thrown in with you and I was like, I don't know this man. So like how, maybe they knew you, but it didn't click for me. And, we talked a little bit going into the Hunter vote. And then from there, radio silence. You did not talk to me. You left me on red a couple of times. And I had to constantly message you in order to get something out of you. I understand people don't want to be fake. I've heard that already from other people who have also not talked to me in this game. But the fundamental of these orgs is a social game. And I don't feel like you had that. I think it was lacking in some areas. So I guess I kind of want to know, what was the intention in not wanting to talk to me? Like, was it strategic? Like, why would you do that?
So, Sam, I just want to say, if I offended you for any reason, I do apologize. However, the way I looked at it was like this. Me and Jason and Sam T were secretly working together the entire game. And with them adding you into this 4-person chat, I was like, great. We can talk to Sam U. Listen, like, I know we don't talk all the time. We don't call in that. But like, it was kind of like I got your back, you got my back kind of deal. And once we were talking about the Hunter vote and I ended up lying to you, to me, I was like, damn, like, what can I do to get better with Sam U? And I remember that, I was afraid because, like I said, I was talking to so many people and I put my hands in so many people's cookie basket or cookie jars that I needed to make sure what I can do to keep myself safe. And I do apologize that I probably did talk to you, probably the least. But what I knew was at touchy subjects, when they asked who was the biggest liar and you put me, I knew from that point on that you no longer trusted me. And it was not in my best interest to have you around. Because just like I said to Nick, that if we got farther with obviously you or Nick or Nolan, that you guys would call me out on my bullshit. So I was afraid to giving you too much information to where that could be used against me and set me up for as a target. Because in this game, I got a lot of information from a lot of people. And I will admit, I didn't give that much out. And I'm sorry if you felt like I didn't give you as much as you were giving me, but that was just the game I was playing. I was strategic in how I had conversations with a lot of people. And from the touchy subjects and from you calling me the biggest liar, I knew like, damn, like Sam's out to get me. So that was just kind of my thinking. I just knew that my time with you was very running short and that I needed to do something to get you out before you got me out.
You have 1 minute left, Sam.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's all the questions I have. I definitely want to continue. I'm going to obviously continue to watch. I want you all to be honest, no bullshit. Cindy, I am one of your biggest supporters, but I really need you to explain more about your game if you want to take my vote. So good luck to all three of you. We'll see what happens, and no hard feelings here. Can't wait to kind of catch up with you guys after the game. See you guys later.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, I did realize we went a little out of order because of triple eviction, but oh well. Here is the next juror. Once they pop on. Once he connects to audio. Okay, Nolan, your 7 minutes starts now.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the stream was behind. Hello. I just wanted to say congratulations. This is a final three, but it's also a roast session, so good luck. For some of you, this may be 7 minutes in heaven. For the rest, it may be 7 minutes in hell. Okay. I'm going to try to address each of you individually. Starting off with Xander. Honestly, like, by the way you're dressed, I can't tell if you came prepared for a final three or if you were going to go out with it on a date with Paige. No, all jokes aside, I feel perplexed by you. I feel like talking to you may have been a bit more difficult for maybe some of the people in the game, myself included. And I could never really get a good read on you until, like, I mean, I knew you about the Power of Five line, so that was always something in the back of my head. But for me, like, your game has a lot of question marks towards it, because if your biggest move is like trying to get rid of Kevin, then like, I feel like as the HOH, it should have been like your job to help make sure the votes are there to actually be able to get him out. But you did solo evict him in the final four, so whatever. Moving on. I guess we'll go with Cindy next, the lady from Michigan, a great place. You're probably one of the nicer people in this game. I mean, I honestly didn't know what I was going to say coming into this, but I think I was amazed when I got evicted to learn about all the things behind the scenes that you did. I was told, and I mean, I'll clear it up later, but I was told that it was your main idea, that you were the one that kind of pushed putting yourself on the block to get rid of Tawny. And not only did you do that, but you managed to make me feel more comfortable with you. You made me eat Pop-Tarts with cheese in them and eggs and all this other stuff. I don't want to get into it. So I just, as much as Sam said, I think a lot of us need to hear from you more, just going forward. Rizzo, I honestly, like, a lot of people are confused in your game, and I'm still trying to put the pieces together. I think you did a really good job facilitating what you had to say in your opening speech. I think the question mark that people have is just because of the things people have been saying in the jury chat and what you actually did versus what people may think you did, or something associated with that. I will say, though, I don't think you've ever lied to me personally in the game. I asked you one-on-one to tell me if the vote was flipping last minute, and you did. when the vote, because I was originally going to vote on Cindy, I'm not going to lie, over Hunter, but that was common knowledge. So I appreciate that. I'm struggling here because I'm trying to give you all questions for parts of the game I wasn't in for. We'll just go for something. I want each of you to give me a quick, like, 30-second opinion on why you deserve what the other two did badly compared to you. So Rizzo, I guess you can start.
So I just wanted to say, Nolan, like you said, I did never lie to you, and I'm sorry you did get the shit end of his stick, because honestly, like I said, my final two was Jason, and for some reason he was targeting you, and the fact that you were with Tawny together as a two just really increased your target, and I just couldn't do anything to save you. But what I think I did better is, honestly, I was able to strategically position myself every round and adapt, whether that was make deals with people or anything to make sure that I was not on the block come eviction night. And that only happened when I was up against you and I stayed in a near unanimous vote. I think I was able to diminish my threat level and make people think I was just nothing. I was just a vote to people, because I didn't win anything, but I proved that I am probably one of the biggest comp beasts here, as I beat Kevin, who has won a lot. I beat Bryce, who has won a good amount. I won at Final 6 HOH. I won Final 5 Veto, and I won Final 4 HOH. And I was able to secure my spot at the end to plead to you guys. I think the game I played is very hard to pull off because, I will admit I probably did piss people off, and I gave people my word that I ended up breaking, but I ultimately had to do that in a strategic place to set myself up here, who I think I had the best chance to beat.
Thank you. Xander, do you want to go next?
Yeah. I mean, me personally, as I stated, I played an honest game. I've told people what I was thinking when they asked me for it. I went to people and made those connections. I made those calls. I made those brief little, how do I want to word it? Relationships. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm dumb tonight. I haven't eaten. But I made those relationships that got me further into the game. I was just maintained on that honesty. And I tried to talk to everyone and gave them my own feelings and opinions and told them what I was going to do. So, I mean, that's what brought me here today.
And Sydney.
I think what I did best in this game was making big moves and painting the target for those big moves on other people within the game. As an example, which you brought up, it's the round where Xander, Tawny, and I all decided to put ourselves on the block. I painted that very much like Xander's move. I said, I was very much aware of it. Kevin and Billy had come to me. They had told me the same thing they told Xander. And I was like, I'll put myself on the block. I know I'm not leaving, but I don't want my relationships with people like Nolan or like others to suffer because I'm trying to get Tawny out. So what I did was I said, look, it can be Nick or it can be us, knowing that Xander would pick us out of those two. And with that, I got to talk to Bryce and Nolan and some others saying, look, Xander did this. Like, I said it could be Nick, and he said no. I said Nick's name knowing that Nick would not be going up. Additionally, that same round, I managed to put Tawny as the person who said Jason's name, when in reality, it was me who said Jason's name. Jason and I went on call, and he was like, it was Tawny, wasn't it? I was like, honestly, I don't remember. It was confusing, but I said, look, you nominated me twice. What am I supposed to do? In reality, on that call, I said, he nominated me twice. Like, are you guys good with it? And they said yes. So I managed to paint that target on Tawny and maintain that relationship with Jason. Additionally, the 8th, 7th, and 6th people sitting on jury are all sitting on jury solely because of my vote. I was the swing vote in every one of those evictions. I chose if Kevin or Gianna went. I chose if Jason or Billy went, and I chose if Billy or Xander went. Those were all my choices, knowing full well that these are people who don't want me at the end. These were the people who did not have final 2s or 3s with me, or had previously said that they weren't going to put me on the block and did, and people that I didn't trust would, in the position that I needed someone to save me, which I ended up being in. They weren't going to save me. So I made those decisions knowing that those people needed to go. And I was the one who made those 3 evictions in particular. I was the one who decided those.
Okay, Nolan, I need you to wrap it up, please.
All right. I love all of you, or I hope you do. I see myself in every single one of you, game-wise, personal-wise, whatever. You all played great. Good luck. My vote's still up in the air, so don't let any punches loose, whatever the phrase is. All right, bye.
Thanks, Nolan. Okay, here is our next juror. Okay, Gianna, you have 7 minutes starting now.
All right. Hello, guys. Congratulations on making it to the finale. All right, let's see. So I'm not too sure where my vote is going yet, because this has kind of been, I haven't really had the best relationships with the three of you for real in this game. Rizzo, I feel like we were supposed to have this unspoken bond, but I don't know if we really truly had that bond, because there's quite a few times you had said you're going to keep me or save me, and it never worked out. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, or why do you feel I should have your vote?
So I will say this, Gianna, like you've mentioned, we've known each other from a previous game before, and you previously did host me. I want to let you know that coming into this game, we did have an unspoken bond. I did try to do everything I could to have your back. I know it wasn't as blatant and wasn't as obvious, but I think a lot of my game wasn't blatant or wasn't obvious, and I think that's what I did great in this game. I will say the vote that you left, and it was between you and Kevin, I want to take a little bit of responsibility for it being a little my fault, because the vote was going for you to stay. But I didn't communicate that much with Bryce, and Bryce just assumed that I was keeping Kevin, where if Jason told you, Jason and me got in call for like an hour and a half, just feeling so bad about what he did to you. Jason was my final two, and he told me, he's like, Rizzo, I'm going to save you with the veto, but I want you to know we need to do everything we can to save Gianna. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And, I didn't communicate with Bryce too much that round, and I was trying to play the middle, and I wanted Kevin to go, but I felt like Kevin had the support of Cindy, and Cindy and Bryce come as a package deal. So if Cindy was down, Bryce was down. And at that moment, it was me trying to cover my ass. And I was just like, damn, I'm sorry, Gianna. If I'm being honest, if I had an ideal final three from final 8 on, it was you and Jason. And I mean that to this day. And it just unfortunately didn't work out for you. So even though I couldn't save you there, I do want to be honest. Even though we didn't talk too much and all that, Jason can vouch, and I can vouch as well, that I always had your back. It just wasn't as blatant as maybe someone like Jason or somebody like that.
Okay, thank you for that. Cindy, we just connected too late, way too late in the game. And I know part of that's my fault, because especially with my work schedules, that didn't really help none. But I was really trying to connect with you, but it was just really hard for us. Great job for us women. I'm so proud that there's at least one woman representing the finale. What do you feel? What was your best move in this game?
I am very sorry to say that my best move was evicting you. I hate that, and we were like
That's
two ships passing in the dark. I work. I wake up at 7 a.m. You work nights. Our schedules completely didn't align, but whenever we did talk, it was all genuine. But because we connected so late, it was a later connection than my connection with Kevin. And so I knew Kevin at that point wanted to sit with me at the end. That changed later on, but at that point he was dead set on getting to the end with me because he thought he could beat me, and I was dead set on getting to the end with anyone because I thought, I'll out-talk them at the end if I have the chance. So even if it was sitting next to Kevin here, I was going to try my best to out-talk him. Whereas with you, I wasn't sure who your final three ideally was, but I didn't think I was in it. And so I was the one who told Bryce, we have to get rid of Gianna this round. And, Bryce was a great sport. He didn't take much convincing. He was like, sounds good. But so I think that was my biggest move. And I'm sorry it had to happen that way. And I love you as a person.
I love you too. I really do. I adore you all. Xander. I don't know. I think it was a very stupid move to put me up in that round for me to get going. I was not even a threat. And I truly thought how we were talking that you were gonna keep me off the block because it just made it seem like I really wasn't the target, which I kind of really wasn't, but it just got to see what all happened. But we didn't really talk much. I didn't really see you. I don't know if you really talked as much this game or what happened. I mean, I know you kind of did, but I don't know. But I don't know when it comes to you. So, just like tell me something that made you to this point in the game.
I'm sorry, I'm a little deaf. Can you repeat that?
Sorry, I'm on you. So tell me what got you to this point of the game. I couldn't tell myself like how you even made this work. We really didn't talk. I didn't really see you do a whole lot. So show me. So tell me what got you to this point in the game.
Well, I mean, it was a lot of those relationships that I have built. I know we did not have the perfect relationship, but those 2 weeks I was in power, I did try my best to keep you safe. I know that doesn't reflect well because I did nominate you, but before I did nominate you, I had that conversation of I want to evict Kevin. And at that moment, Cindy and Bryce were both on board to evict Kevin. So that's when I'm just like, okay, me and you didn't have the best relationship. So to me at that point, I thought, hey, that's fine. I'll nominate you. So it's like, it's not the end of the world, but I'm trying my best to keep you safe. And I told you this, I messaged you. I'm like, I know this seems rude. It seems terrible, but I'm doing my best to keep you safe. You were not the target. Unfortunately, that failed, and I do apologize for that. I would definitely do that week differently if given the choice now. But what got me to this point in the game was my relationships with people. I made people upset for what I have done, but I've still aligned myself with other people and got myself with my relationships further into the game. So I would feel like that's what got me to this point.
Yeah, I need you to wrap it up, please.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said wrap it up.
Oh, no, okay. Well, that was pretty much it. They all said what they had to say, so good luck, guys.
Thank you, Gianna. Okay, here is our next juror. Okay, Jason, your 7 minutes starts now.
Hi, guys.
Michael, I don't think he heard that his 7 minutes starts.
Is it started?
Yeah, Jason, turn the stream
great.
off. Yeah, turn the stream off if that's what you're listening to, so that you're
right.
on the Zoom. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
I'll start your 7 minutes over. Start now.
Thank you. You're amazing, Michael Davis. No, congratulations to the three of you. I am super proud of all of you because I had different relationships with the three of you. And I just want you to know, like, I hold no hard feelings against anyone sitting here, whether it was me going out at 7 or me sticking around till the end. I love you guys all the same. However, I do have questions because you know I do. Now, first of all, Xander, I just want to say to you, good morning. It's great to see you awake before 9 p.m. I just want to thank you for being a friend in this game. I mean, I really enjoyed playing with you, and I'm thankful for you giving me the chance to tie the vote at Final 7, and I respect you for that. I'm sorry that our play to get rid of Kevin was unsuccessful. And I really, really love you as a person. However, I am going to move on to Cindy because I want to talk about this whole, like, yeah, I put you up twice at the beginning, but remember, those were Justin's noms, and then that was Billy who put you up the second time. And we talked about having a clean slate. And even though that was such a huge lie from you, because you obviously still held this huge animosity towards me, right? So you were fine, you were, whatever. And then Final 7 comes, and you were the swing vote, of course, and you said you were gonna save me at 8:45 p.m. And then you said to me, Bryce is going to be big mad. And then you all of a sudden changed your mind and you were like, F that, right? Where all of a sudden I didn't mean anything to you at this clean slate was true, right? And that was why in the final plea that I made, that I said I was looking at one person individually and that one person was you. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to ask any other questions of you because that one vote influences my vote to end this game. So I'm telling you that one vote cost you a vote. End of story. And then Rizzo, I just want to move into our final two from 5 minutes into the game. Everything that Rizzo has said is true. And I honest to God, like Rizzo, you're New York's finest, dude. Like we worked this as long as we could till the wheels fell off. I knew that in final 8 that I had to go ahead, right, and win that veto to save you and keep me off the block as the replacement nominee. I showed my cards. I showed our cards. I want to know from your game perspective, other than winning out, how did our partnership together affect the overall gameplay of this season?
So just want to say, New York's finest, buddy, you know, no matter what, you were always my final two. We've talked hours every single night of this game. However, I will say this. I think because me and you were so under the radar, you know, actually, I'm going to say this is actually kind of funny because when you look at our dynamic, you would think the young athletic guy will win everything and the older, more charming adult would have the social connections. But on the other hand, it was totally flipped. You were the comp beast. I was there trying to build us social relationships and trying to make sure that me and you were good. People don't realize, but you weren't put up on the block till pretty late in the pre-jury, and I wasn't put up till triple. I think me and you don't get enough credit because we were so quiet and under the radar. But I think with me and you maneuvering both sides of the house, trying to figure out all the information and making a move definitely impacted us. I want to say this, every round, every single vote of this game, there has not been one vote I have been blindsided in. I knew everything that was going to happen. The Bryce vote, I will talk to Bryce about this. I feel bad, but that was my move and nobody else knew besides Xander and Kevin towards the end. I think me and you had a lot of social capital in this house, and you winning definitely helped my game because it allowed me to stay under the radar and allowed my social connections and my social capital to keep me good in this game. I think I was very well capable of putting us in a strategic position to where we were good on almost every side of the house. And what I think me and you did that maybe a lot of people didn't do is we considered everybody as a threat, whether it was socially, strategically, and physically. We were able to knock out the threats every single round that we thought was better for us, whether it was physically, socially, and strategically. I think something that I'm not getting credit for is that I was able to play all 3 parts of the game very well. I think Cindy and Xander are both claiming that they were good social players. As to if they were, kudos to them, but they did not mention physical and they did not really talk about strategic. And I think in those 3 aspects, as a full player, I did a really good job because me and you were able to be very good with people socially, position ourselves very great strategically, and when you were in the game with me, you won a lot of comps. And when you left, I was able to adapt myself with final 3s, final 2s, and put myself in a position to get here. And if my social connections weren't worth it, I won out to guarantee my spot here. Xander did win final 4, so I'll give him credit there. But I don't think Cindy and Xander can say the same. It says what I can. If as a complete game, I won my way out. I strategically positioned me and you, and we were good socially with a lot of people.
Awesome. I will go to Cindy for one question because
you have 1 minute left, Jason.
Hey, I got this. All right. So I'm a teacher. I can do this in like 30. So Cindy, my question to you is, how do you think the game would have been different had you kept me instead of Billy?
So I think that you or Rizzo would have been more likely to win. You and Rizzo together would have been a very strong duo at winning comps, and I don't think I would be here today. I do think that unless Kevin or Bryce won and managed to take you out, I don't think I sit here at the end. I think you sit here next to Rizzo and someone who is better at comps than me. who managed to get here. And that is a legitimate thing. And that was something, because Rizzo was your number one. I was never your number one. And that was a big part of my decision making for getting you out. It was very last minute because I wasn't on my phone the whole day, but I was thinking about it the whole day. It was very much a bad day for communication, and I get that I lost your vote because of that, and I don't mind that. I wasn't expecting you to vote for me. I knew you would be mad. And I still love you as a person, but I knew I was not your number one, and I don't think I'd be here if I had not evicted you that round.
Awesome. Just an FYI, my eyebrows are back. I'm good. Thank you, Michael Davis.
Thank you, Jason.
Good luck, guys.
Here we go. Here is the next juror. Okay, Billy, your 7 minutes starts now.
Okay, everyone, hello and welcome to Steel Michaels, to what I have to say, because I have a lot to say. Cindy, let's start with you. Cindy, out of the 3 people sitting here today, we were the least connected out of the 3. But I'm leaning towards voting you tonight. You proved that socially you were there. You were there just like Rizzo was, but you didn't have to unnecessarily lie to get to where you had to be. And that's a quality that I respect as someone who struggles with the social game. Xander and Rizzo, we were both in the Power of 5 together. That was a very dominant alliance this season. It should be up for Alliance of the Season because damn, we ran shit for a while. One thing I am just a little concerned with both of you guys, Xander, I'm just a little concerned that I'm not sure if you have the moves to be able to beat the 2 people sitting next to you. Why am I wrong?
Well, I think I have the moves because I actually committed to making those moves. They mainly painted the picture while I actually went down and took the blunt force. I made those moves. I have stated that I have nominated you. I wanted to nominate you. We worked together, but you were with Kevin, and that's why I was just like not fully trusting you. So I went through that, and I wanted to make those moves, and I committed to making those moves. They painted the picture that these are the right moves to make, but I actually committed to making those moves.
And Rizzo, I'm going to just keep this light, keep this easy, because the 2 people coming after me, they're going to blow your shit. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be as light as possible. I will say you had no influence on Nick for the Nick HOH. That was my move. I wanted Nick out. I came to the Power of 5 and told you and Xander and Kevin that I wanted Nick out because he recently just called me out and I wanted that gone. I wanted him up because initially we didn't talk as much as I would like to. And at the same time, when he called me out, that's when it solidified. That's when it happened. That's when it happened. My one thing for you, because I love you as a person. This isn't just, I'm not trying to roast your shit. This isn't it. Why should I vote for you when you made so many checks that you couldn't cash them? You just sent so many checks, you couldn't cash them. Why shouldn't you lose just like Tyler Crispin from BB20?
So I will say this, Billy, like we said, personally, I love you. You're great. But my thing with you was this. I never blatantly made it obvious because I wanted to be good with the Power of 5. The round that Sam T left definitely showed my cards with you and Kevin. I just never vocalized it to you because it came to my attention that Sam T could have stayed in this game, but you and Kevin were afraid that Tawny was going to expose us as an alliance, which she already did. So you guys backed out of it and let Sam T packing when Sam T honestly did do a lot of our dirty work. So from that point on, I knew that I had to be careful. I put it in my brain strategically that I needed to position myself just in case if something like that happened. Because if we're willing to get rid of Sam T, what does that mean for me, for Xander, or for any one of us? So I think from that point on, I was trying to position myself, and I understand that I did cash a lot, or I promised people a lot of things. But in this game, I can't say I played an honest game because I didn't, but I'm here to own up to it. And I had to do everything what I did in a game perspective to set myself up here. I think even if I didn't win out, I probably had a good chance to get here based on my social and strategic play, but I wanted to win physically to make it here so I can have a complete full resume in 3 parts of the game. I want to apologize that you were collateral damage for Kevin's move, but I couldn't put myself to put Bryce up, because if I put Bryce up and Bryce goes, Cindy's upset with me, you and Kevin are upset with me, and I have 2 duos coming at me. Whereas if I just put up Xander, then Kevin, or then you would go, and then it's just Kevin mad at me, and Cindy and Bryce think I'm still good with them. So that's why what ended up happening with you happened that way. And I'm sorry, but it's just how I needed to play the game for me to get here.
One more question for the 3 of you, because this is something I'm curious about, just to see what kind of awareness you guys had in the game. I'm going to ask each of you, if the 3 of you are not sitting here, you cannot pick the 3 people sitting here. Pick 3 members of the jury to be sitting in your spot, and why. One at a time, doesn't matter who goes first.
So is this like who we would want to sit at the end? Like if I'm in jury, who do I want to vote for?
Who do you think out of the 3 players, like 3 people in jury, who deserves to be here at this very moment?
Okay, I think that Kevin, I think that it is Nick, and I think it's Jason. I think it's Kevin, Nick, and Jason that deserve to be here.
I'll go next. I want to say, this is me being so serious. It's Kevin, 100%. We just had to get Kevin out at 4 because he would have won this game. He had my respect. Billy, I feel like you don't get a lot of credit for the game you played. Even though you were quote unquote Kevin's second fiddle, you won a lot of comps and you did what you had to do. I think you, Kevin, and probably Bryce. I think Bryce is very slept on too. That's why I had to get him out, because he had a lot of jury favor. I think Bryce played a great social game. He won when he needed to. So based out of everyone in jury, I'm going to go with Kevin, Billy, and Bryce.
Okay, I'm also going to say Kevin. That's why I nominated him back at Final 8. I knew he was going to make it to the end if possible and win this game. So I'm saying Kevin would be my number 1 choice. I want to say Nick because I know he has the properties of making it this far, but I think because of jury being the way it was, the final 12 was jury, final 11, because of how it was who they were, I don't think he had a chance of making it this far, but I knew he had a good shot if he could make those better connections. But with him not being able to do that, I would say it would be Kevin, it would be Bryce, because he had those good connections. He made his way to the end of this game. And it would also be Jason.
Okay, y'all. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck, guys.
Good.
Everybody. See ya.
Thank you, Billy. So I need to get the next person into the rating room. Okay. Okay, Bryce, your 7 minutes starts now.
Hi guys. This is congratulations to the 3 of you. I'm gonna start with Xander. You're sweet lad. Your bow tie is great. If you haven't deduced it by now, I don't think you're gonna win, but congrats on getting here. I'm not really gonna put too much focus on you, sorry. I'm gonna say, I guess I'll go to Cindy next. You know I love you with all my heart, and it was so much fun playing with you. My question personally is, I found out after I was evicted, there's a few things that I didn't even know about. And like, as a duo, I feel like we were supposed to like tell each other everything. That was kind of the gig. Why didn't I know about that final 3? Why didn't I know about that Gianna alliance? I don't know.
I never tell anyone in any game everything I'm doing. It worries me because I know that you would never purposefully leak information, but I never can fully trust that. I prefer to be the one that has all of my own information. I think most people can feel that way. So we were a duo in it that I am 100% loyal to you and all of that. For me, duo does not equal you having to know everything that I'm involved in, especially because I think it paints me as more of a threat, and keeping people sort of not fully aware of how many social connections I had was a big part of my game. And even though it was you, I still just, like, I know Kevin was going to cut me at the end when it came down to it. I was worried the same thing would happen to you, like with you. And so that was why I was never fully honest.
Gotcha. I'm so proud of you, and I really hope you can get the votes. And Rizzo, hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
I don't even know what to say about you. I think you're really full of shit in these speeches. It's kind of unbelievable. You're trying to claim you played this great game at the beginning, and you just kind of were in the PO5 and did jack shit. It's a fancy way of saying you did nothing at the beginning. Also, I don't know. You're also trying to put on this role of like strategic mastermind, like you were everywhere. You realize you were looked at as a GOAT, right? Like people wanted to bring you to the end for a while, and not because you positioned yourself so well with these crazy strategic ties and moves, but because you were always someone who was an easy beat because people didn't think you did anything. Finally, a common trend, you started to play at Final 6, finally, like congratulations. A common trend in the jury is that you lied really, really unnecessarily. And it's something that I experienced. I came to view as a genuine friend and I had so much fun, but it was like, well, for example, we could start with the Nick thing. You kept telling Nick was safe and he was going to stay and you were going to do everything you could for him. You had no intention to do that. You just blatantly lied about the Gianna vote, because if you just so much as told me I'm voting off Kevin, I would have sprinted to vote off Kevin. So don't act like you were going to be her final 2. Come on now. You told Kevin and Billy they were both safe when you were already HOH. There's no point to that. And obviously with me, it was down to studying for hours on call to celebrating after you won the veto and screaming about how we're in Final 4 and planning for Final 4 and, you know, laughing and all that stuff when you already knew damn well you were going to send me out the door. And it makes me wonder if you're either a sociopath who doesn't care about people's emotions, or you're just a huge pussy who can't face the repercussions of your actions. I don't know, but it seems like terrible journey management to me. You're definitely a charmer. I know you've played a game, you know, but I just think Cindy's played a better one and done it without being unnecessarily dickish. So with that, it's been a fun time. Good luck to the 3 of you. Cindy, I hope with all my heart that you win this. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you, Bryce. We'll get the next, or last juror. Okay, here we go. Okay, Kevin, your 7 minutes starts now.
Oh boy, I'm ready. First off, Xander, exactly what I told you is what's about to happen. Enjoy 0 votes. Secondly, Rizzo, it's really interesting that you said that Billy doesn't get enough credit for what he did when you just claimed that basically you did everything that Billy and I did. You claimed it all was your move. The Hunter vote. Hunter was leaving without your vote. It didn't matter. So you flipping Nolan and Tawny did nothing because the Power 3 were still evicting him. You know, the fucking when you were put up in the triple. You were put up in the triple after I'd already secured the votes. The Bryce vote, unnecessary lying. Bryce was already leaving. Xander already said that he was gonna give me my 1 vote to split the tie. So all you did was just put all the blood on your hands and then still claim the move despite me still making it. So what I want to know is, honestly, because your answers have been full of bullshit. What did you do without hiding behind the bigger targets? And you could say your secret final 2 with Jason, which everyone knew about. But what did you do? Because it really seemed that you didn't start playing until the end. And don't say win out, because there's no point in winning out when everyone was dragging you to the end regardless. So that's my first question for you, Rizzo. What did you do without hiding behind bigger targets?
So like I mentioned early on the game, my previous org experience has always been winning a lot of competitions to then be the big threat. You won a lot of comps. Billy won a lot of comps. Jason won a lot of comps. Bryce won a lot of comps. And if I'm being totally honest, my game wasn't to be the biggest threat. I will admit I did hide behind you guys. I used you guys as shields. I'm here to own up to that. I made sure that I diminished my threat level. And for me to be the biggest competitor, I needed to come out at the end when it mattered. You, like I said to Nick, mentioned that I was playing the middle the entire time. And I knew that if I sat here next to you, you were winning regardless. I think that me out beating you and then Xander beating you put us in a better spot because you, just like Nick, were someone to call bullshit. I played this game extremely in the middle, and I understand that I had to lie to put myself. I didn't have to lie, I guess, based on what you guys said. I did make some unnecessary lies, and I apologize if that hurt people personally. But I'm telling you, the moves that I made, I thought positioned myself better to give me a better argument in front of the jury. I apologize if I upset you personally, but I think what I did in this game from Final 6 on just showed that I can win comps when needed, when the pressure was on me. I will admit in the beginning of the game, I played very passively because if I didn't play passively, I would end up leaving, such as Sam T, Tawny, and Hunter. So I needed to make sure that I talked to enough people to keep me good. And when it mattered most, when the game was most important, I sped up my game and won when I needed to. And people like Cindy and Xander just used their social ability to get there. So that's my answer to you. I did use you guys as shields, and I can admit that.
Little follow-up comment. Then why all the unnecessary lying? One of the first things I asked in our jury roundtable is raising your hand. Basically, if Rizzo gave you his word only to turn back on it. I know, at least for me, you did that 3 or 4 times unnecessarily. That's about it with Rizzo. I don't think you played a great game. I think you played a game where you just hid behind everyone. And I mean, from what final 7 on, everyone was dragging you to the end. I think your answers are a lot of delusion. And if you're going to own up to your game, at least own up to the fact that you clearly had not a good read on the game. Cindy, I guess just really quick, something that I fully believe is I think you had one of, if not the best read on the house. So can you elaborate on that? I want you to give 1 or 2 examples where your read on the house helped you get further in the game.
Okay, well, no one actually told me until tonight that Rizzo and Jason were a duo. However, I'm pretty sure I went to you, Kevin, and told you that they were a duo. I definitely know that in my head, they were a duo. So for me, it was about putting the target more on Jason than Rizzo because I did want Rizzo here at the end, like you said, to drag him. In addition, I could just tell for me when it was picking sides of picking the power of 5 versus picking the outsiders of like Nick, Samu, Bryce, Gianna, those not in the power of 5. Bryce and Samu didn't talk. They're not going to become close together. Bryce was always closer to Rizzo than he was Samu. Nick and Gianna were not tight. That side was never going to form together. And I could tell that without even needing to talk to them about working together. They were never going to do it. And for that reason, I stuck closer to the power of 5 and trusted my ability to socially infiltrate it and get myself here through one-on-one connections rather than an alliance. It would have been great to take these disparate characters that I got along with and have them all work together to target the power of 5, which, was very much what Nick wanted to do, but those people weren't going to work together. And I think that choosing not to go that route is a large reason of why I'm here. Does that answer the question?
1 more minute,
Oh,
Kevin.
Good luck to all of you. I was pretty honest with everyone with where my vote was going. I said if you evicted me, my vote was getting locked the second it happened. That's where my vote is. Cindy, I genuinely do hope you win. I think you are one of the nicest people on this cast. You are the most honest out of these 3. And I think you made the best social connections with everyone. But yeah, good luck. Good luck, everyone. But that's it for me.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, with that, I know this has been a rough night. Those jurors are tough. You guys are going to each get 5 minutes to give your closing argument. We are going to do the reverse order of what we did before. And so that means Rizzo, you will be up first. So your 5 minutes starts now.
So I want to preface this by saying that personally, aside, if I ever offended anybody, I apologize. However, coming into this game, I knew based on my past experiences, I needed to play differently. I needed to make sure I was good with people. And from what people are saying, they believe I was taken as a go. I mean, like I said, based on what I said, the goal was to diminish my threat level to where I can get in a position to hopefully win comps at the end and make the moves I wanted to make. I still remember to this day, Nick was saying that I was following the PO5 in the beginning of the game. And to be honest, like in that situation, as somebody that was playing the middle, I couldn't show my cards. I didn't want to make the move to where then I would have both sides coming at me, because that is a lot of problems that people who play in the middle face. They face people comparing notes and then ultimately coming after them. I had to lie in spots that I thought was best for me to make the moves I needed to make. I think when you guys go in to cast your vote, I'd appreciate if you guys try to put feelings aside. I know that we've played this game with each other for a month, 5-6 weeks, and we've all built social connections and bonds. But I hope that you guys understand that if you look at somebody as a complete player, I think I played a really good social game. I think I played a really good strategic game. And I think I won when I needed to win, when the pressure was on me the most. I will have to say this, Bryce, I do apologize for hurting your feelings. I just think the move that I made at Final 5 was definitely the move I needed to make, because with Kevin winning that HOH, if I saved you, then it would have been me versus you versus Kevin, and that would have put me in a shitty position at Final 4. So I think starting from the beginning all the way to the end, I was able to talk to people, make sure I was never on the block, whether that was lying or whatever I needed to do. I was somebody that was all about adaptation and self-preservation, and I will admit that I did lie a lot. But at the end of the day, I did what I thought was best for my game and Jason's as well, as shown as we made it all the way to Final 7, and I fought tooth and nail for him to make it to the end as I could. But it didn't happen. But I just want you guys to show that I might have not played an honest game, but to say I didn't play loyal is false, because Sam T and Jason, I played with them till the very end. But at that moment, it just, when he left, I just had to do everything that I could to make myself at the end, whether that was promise Final 3s or do Final 3s, Final 2s with everybody left in the game. I understand that could be viewed as scummy. However, I believed it was the best game move for me to pitch a case to all of you tonight. So like I said, when you go in there, I hope you vote for who you guys feel like played the best game, because to me, I felt like I was able to do all three things well, while Xander and Cindy were able to do one thing really good. So with that being said, thank you guys for a great season. No matter what, I love each and every one of you, and I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you, Rizzo. Xander, you are up next. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Oh, trust me, it's not going to be 5 minutes. I just want to say, Kevin, I think you're full of bullshit for thinking that you just can tell me whatever you want to tell me and then trust that I have to go about it. I might have said, yeah, I think you have a good shot of winning this game, but I also chose to evict you because I had made different connections to that. I also told Cindy that I did not think I deserved to be this far. And, coming here tonight saying that most of the jury didn't really give me a chance to talk and I just sat here. To me, I feel like they didn't really care. They didn't want to show where my side of view things. And, that hurt me, but you know what? It's the game. So that's mine.
Okay. Thank you, Xander. Cindy, your 5 minutes starts now.
Okay, I hate following that up. That made me sad. Okay, so Rizzo keeps talking about all three parts of the game. This isn't Outwit, Outplay, Outlast. This isn't Survivor. This is not about comp wins. This is about a social and strategic game. Those are the keys to Big Brother. No one looks at Dr. Will or Dan Giesling not winning a ton of comps and says, oh, that's because they played a bad game. This isn't an evenly portioned thing. This is about social and strategy. And I think that I proved today that I had both. Everyone in this jury, I think that I made at least some attempt at a social connection with. Some of us, it was less strong than I would have liked, but I really genuinely enjoy you all as people. Strategically, for me, it was all about taking what I understood about the reads of the house, about who was connected with whom, to figure out who can I use to get my game further and who wants me further. Because the truth of the matter is, Jason and Billy, you guys didn't want me at the end. I'm almost positive, and that was why I had to take both of you out, because I knew that I can't win my way out. And I don't think that's a negative to my game. I think it's a positive to my game that despite not being able to win out to the end, I was still taken here. And I wasn't taken here because everyone thought I was a GOAT. I was taken here partially because of bonds I made, partially because I was not the biggest threat, and also because Xander and I had a really strong personal connection and he wanted me here regardless. I think that I played both socially and strategically very well. I did not tell anyone the whole truth in this game, and I do apologize for that. But I don't think that I lied unnecessarily. The closest would be the Jason vote that was unnecessary, and I was torn because both Jason and Billy did not want me at the end. Either one going in that sense would have been fine for me, but it was very much something that I had to think about of who Billy was most connected to and who Jason was most connected to, and whether or not they have those connections have the compatibilities to keep them safe one more round, or if I thought that they could end up on the block the next round. And ultimately, I did think that Billy would be nominated with Kevin the next round, which is why I evicted Jason, because I didn't think that it was as likely that Jason would end up being able to be evicted the next round. Whereas keeping Billy and Kevin together almost guarantees that Billy goes up, and as long as he doesn't win veto, I can get him out then. So that was, in my mind, very strategic. Rizzo has also said that my game slowed down at the end. It absolutely did not. I think that a lot of you can attest to the fact that at the end of this game, I was talking with you pretty much constantly about the game. I did not slow down. I didn't ramp up comp wins, but that isn't the game. The game isn't comp wins alone. I ramped up my socials. I ramped up talking to everyone, and I ramped up thinking about things strategically and thinking, how can I ensure my spot at the end so that I have a chance to talk? Because honestly, I truly believed if I could talk, I had a chance. Even if it was against Kevin, that was my hardest chance, in my opinion. But I still think that it would not have been locked in that I was losing. So my entire game was about getting here to say that I did things. I played the game. I played it strategically. I played it intentionally. And sometimes it may not have seemed that everything was as thought out, because I was legitimately trying to think things through while people were messaging me. But in the end, everything I did was intentional. It was my decision. And I did run votes 6 through 8. You all know I'm the one who sent you packing. I apologize for that, but I do believe that it was best for my game that happened. And I hope I love you all. I can't wait for a reunion. Please vote for me.
Okay, thank you all. I am now going to allow the jurors to come back on here. If everybody could please stay on mute. Jurors, as you come in, please mute for me. Let's see, we still need Bryce and Nick. Just a second. Thank you to all the viewers. Let's see, we have 23 people watching. I think some of those are you guys, but we'll give it just a second. Oh, there we go. Waiting for this audio to connect. There we go. Okay, welcome back, jurors. It's nice to have a big Zoom again. So it is now time for you all to cast your vote for a winner of this game. I'm going to call you in the order of eviction to cast your vote. When I call you, you may give one brief statement without revealing who you are voting for. So, Nick, you are up first. Please go to your confessional chat for the final time and cast your vote for a winner of this game.
One of y'all I completely adore. One of y'all knows that the way to my heart is through my liver. And one of you has a really awesome girlfriend, and like she's been bombing this chat. So good luck to one of the two of you that I love.
Thank you, Nick. Next up is Nolan. It's not Sam, it's Nolan. Nolan, you can send us your vote.
Top 10 blind sides of the season. Okay, can you like type in my production chat so I can actually find out where it is? Like, I don't. No. Oh, okay, well, give me a minute. I'm gonna have to scroll back 3 weeks.
I got it, but I was on mute.
Thank you. Okay. I just want to say thank you to everyone. May the best person win. So with that being said, good luck.
Thank you, Nolan. Next is Sam.
We love Michael Davis, screwed me over twice now. No, just kidding. Good luck to all three of you. Really no hard feelings. I think one person really sold it tonight, and they are gonna definitely get my vote. Good luck to all three of you.
Just waiting for that vote to pop up. Thank you, Sam. Next up is Gianna.
All right. A lot of answers that I've been needed have gotten answered tonight, and there's been some very interesting answers and speeches. So we'll see who gets my vote. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Gianna. Next up is Jason.
Thank you for making this an incredible first org for me, guys. I love you all. Good luck to you. I have one word, and the word is difluoromethane. Good luck, you guys.
Are you sure the word isn't eyebrow?
Not enough points. Not enough points.
Thank you, Jason. Sorry. Next vote, or sorry. Billy, please cast your vote.
Hey guys, no hard feelings with anybody. My vote's going to the person who I think deserves to win this game, not who I was closest to or anything like that. That doesn't matter. It's all about right now, what you guys said tonight, and that's it. So wish you guys the best of luck.
Next up is Bryce.
Let's see if that move worked out for you, Rizzo. In Cindy's Christ we pray. And despite what it may look like, no hard feelings actually. You guys are all cool people outside of this, but I'm going for who I think played the best game from start to finish.
Thank you, Bryce. And lastly, Kevin.
So yeah, once again, no hard feelings. I definitely went in pretty hard on y'all. Not really much of a secret. In a season of 1984 that paralleled so closely with Trinity, I think that we need another parallel in the winner, and that's who I'm voting for.
Thank you, Kevin. Give me just a moment.
My dog wants to say good luck, everyone.
I give free eyebrow shaves to anyone who wants them.
Okay, if everybody can mute, I have the votes. House guests, this has been a great season. It has been very enjoyable. Shout out to the original Power of Three that made this season's twist what it was. I know you all hated it, but that's perfectly fine. So I have the votes. Tonight, you want to see your name. Here we go. It takes 5 votes to win or 4 to tie. Kevin has voted for Cindy. Bryce has voted for Cindy. Billy has voted for Cindy. Jason has voted for Rizzo. Gianna has voted for Rizzo. It is 3-2 to 0. Sam Yu has voted for Cindy. The vote is 4-2. It takes 5 votes to win. Nolan has voted for the winner of 1984 Power of Three. Congratulations, Cindy. Congratulations, Cindy. You are the winner of 1984 Power of Three. Just for the record, Nick has voted for Cindy, which means, Cindy, you won 6-2 to 0. Congratulations to all the final 3. Cindy, do you have anything you would like to say?
Thank you guys so much. I love all of you. Thank you, Michael Davis and Blake Murphy and Paige, all for production. Thank everyone. I am so happy. I'm gonna cry. I can't wait to see you guys at reunion. I actually do love all of you. I did not going into this fully expecting to win, and getting some of your votes was, especially Nick, I definitely thought that I lost your vote. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, okay, thank you.
With that, congratulations, Cindy. I am going to end the live. We will send out a new Zoom link. I will also send it out to the pre-jury, and we will do the reunion. So we will see you all over there.